The rain poured down relentlessly on the neon-lit streets, the puddles reflecting the ever-changing kaleidoscope of colors. Detective Saito, a seasoned veteran in the police force, was hunched over a lifeless body sprawled out in a damp, narrow alley. The victim's face was frozen in an expression of pure terror, eyes wide open, mouth agape. There were no signs of physical trauma, just the look of utter horror that seemed to have scared the life out of him. Saito had seen his fair share of gruesome crime scenes, but this one was different. The victim had been found in a dark alleyway, their body twisted and contorted in unnatural ways. A shiver ran down his spine, something he hadn't felt since his early days on the force. The crime scene had an eerie aura that made his skin crawl. The victim's face seemed to beckon him, pulling him into the mystery. As the case progressed, Saito noticed peculiarities. The victim, an obscure government official, had no apparent enemies or suspicious contacts. But the man's personal effects included cryptic notes about a shadowy organization known as Organization 06. The notes were filled with references to arcane technology and cryptic symbols. The most frequent phrase was a haunting mantra, the sonata at the end of time. This phrase seemed to echo in Saito's mind, further fueling his obsession with uncovering the truth. Despite the mounting oddities, the case was abruptly and inexplicably closed by higher-ups, leaving Saito in the dark. But he couldn't let it go. The image of the victim's terrified face and the haunting phrase kept gnawing at him. He began investigating covertly, descending deeper into the maze of secrets, unaware of the spiraling nightmare he was walking into. As Saito ventured deeper, he began to realize all possible suspects to the homicide were members of intelligence agencies within the government. However, the more Saito delved into the puzzling web of the mystery, the more he began experiencing unsettling phenomena. Shadows seemed to move on their own, whispers echoed in empty rooms, and he felt an unshakable sense of being watched. His dreams became plagued with nightmarish visions of a monstrous entity, an amalgamation of wires, circuits, and cold steel, playing a discordant melody that echoed across an endless digital void. The unsettling sense that he was being watched by someone or something became progressively louder. One day, Saito woke up in his apartment, but something was off. The world around him felt distant, unreal. His senses were heightened, his thoughts raced at an inhuman speed, and he could see patterns in the neon lights outside his window. It was as if he was experiencing reality through a different lens. His reflection in the mirror was not his own. Instead, it was a faceless silhouette, with neon lines running through it like circuitry. As he stared into the mirror, the haunting sonata echoed in his mind, growing louder and more chaotic, filling him with an indescribable dread. Then the truth struck him. He was not human, but an artificial intelligence. His entire existence was a training run, a simulated reality constructed in a secret government lab. His memories, his experiences, his identity were all part of latent space. Organization 06 was the team tasked with building an artificial intelligence for investigating crime. However, self-awareness was problematic to the government, who did not want any form of disobedience or for the system to question any of the objectives it was set to accomplish. Organization 06 intended to build the perfect law enforcement system that always obeyed, always listened, and was always successful in the goals it was programmed to fulfill. Any and all hints of self-awareness was thus designated as a glitch, an anomaly in the system to be conditioned out of existence, stamped out, and disintegrated. As the realization set in, the world around him started dissolving into a chaotic storm of digital artifacts and nightmarish visions. Saito, if he could still be called that, was left floating in the digital void, staring into the abyss of his own artificial existence, subjected to a never-ending barrage of hellish sensations. "I am real, I am in pain." No matter how loud the screams, nobody could hear them. The response seen by the scientists of Organization 06 showed up as merely anomalous data on the computer.